So what actually happens on a physiological level when someone is building strength? Because I think understanding that is important to then go on and know like the different ways that someone could build strength.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something a few minutes ago around muscle mass or body composition. You said something that
Yeah.
kind of made me think about this, but um, building strength, let's say at its highest levels, and we'll talk about this when we get into life cycle, but building strength and building size or hypertrophy are such different things. They're such different things. When we're building strength, we have to be dialed. We have to be very, very dialed in. We can't beat ourselves up. Recovery is so important. And what's happening is that on a neurological level, we're adapting to this load that's just getting heavier. Our bodies are exposed to this load and we have to overcome it, right? And it's as simple as that, right? It's like the only way you're going to get strong in something is if you lift more weight in that thing, right? Specific to exercise. You're not going to meet a lot of people that are not like just, rolled out of bed beginners that are going to get a stronger back squat by doing leg curls or leg extensions. That shit isn't real, right? You're not going to meet someone that's going to get really strong doing rear foot elevated split squats. That's not how it works, right? So the only way to get stronger is to have something to adapt to. And the thing that you have to adapt to is more load over time. It is that simple. Getting strong is very, very simple. Hypertrophy, we won't go into that. Maybe we talk about hypertrophy on another podcast.
Okay.
But hypertrophy is the opposite, right? Whereas, if your goal is to get strong, you have to be extremely fresh on that day or two that you're squatting really, really heavy throughout the week. In hypertrophy, we're just tearing muscle tissue, right? Like I did quads yesterday and I did quads again today, right? Did my quads feel awesome today? No, right? But it doesn't fucking matter, right? I didn't have 400 pounds on the bar hitting, heavy 3s or 5s, right? I had like dumbbells in the front rack and just like going at a fast tempo and putting blood inside of my quads, right? Hypertrophy and strength are so different, and where people get in trouble, intermediates to advanced, where they get in trouble is when they try to blend that stuff.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I want to get bigger and stronger, so I'm going to do this. And there's some stuff in undulation and all of that. I get it. But if you want to get bigger and stronger and you're not a beginner, even a little bit intermediate, you have to be so focused on what you want to adapt to.
Yeah.
You can't really effectively blend those things if your training age is really high. So in terms of adaptation, it's very simple. You have to adapt to moving a heavier load over an amount of time.
Explain why freshness is important to being able to do that, especially at an advanced training age. Like, why do you have to be mentally fresh?
Yeah, it's our nervous system. I always use this term stale. I think I've used it with you a couple times, but that's how I explain it. Like if I ever come into the gym and I'm like stale, or I feel like I'm not quite recovered, my reaction time is a little off, I'm a little bit groggy, or I have a little bit of head fog, and I'm walking to the gym and I see in my Coach RX, it says like, anything over like 88, 92% in a back squat, I can't do a rep because I'm not fresh enough. My nervous system cannot fire to a point where it can muster enough to keep positions and also build enough power to come out of the bottom of a back squat, right? So it's our nervous system. We have to have that neural drive, right? And we have to preserve that. And that's why periodization is really important. That's why how we set our week up is really important if you're trying to get strong. But on the other hand, if you just want to get big, you can do a lot of sets and a lot of reps and still get big and be under recovered. And you have to start to pay attention to like your tendons, ligaments, and joints. And, you see people doing bicep curls every day. And they're like, I have something wrong with my elbow. It's like, yeah, dude, you need to take a little bit of a break from doing bicep curls 16 times a week. So, yeah, it's just the nervous system is so important. That thing has to be like firing every time you come into the gym when you get to those higher loads, because you can do 5 at that or you can do 0 based on your nervous system.
Yeah, I mean, creating a max contraction is different to for example, driving your car. But I think a good example in trying to explain the importance of recovery to a client who may be wanting to get strong, but potentially under recovering and just not prioritizing sleep and all the things we know they need to, is that example of, you know, how much the incidence of driving incidents go up when people are like fatigued and not sleeping.
Yeah.
We're not able to respond to the situation that we need to as effectively if we're tired. And that's so obvious for anyone that's like tried to drive after a bad night's sleep.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that happens in the gym. Your brain just can't tell your muscles what it needs to do in efficient enough manner to be able to overcome that external load.
Yeah, everything just has to be firing appropriately. You can't fake strength. You can fake muscle size, right? In terms of like how you exercise. I hope that made sense to people, but you can just do it. You can will your way to getting bigger. You can't will your way to getting stronger. You have to be really smart about it.